What we're going to look at today are the three main categories of rocks. There are many rocks within each category. The category just tells us how the rock was formed. The first type of rock we're going to look at is igneous. Now I've got two igneous rocks here. This first one, the black one, is called basalt. If you look at it, you'll see there are all these sparkly bits. They are small crystals that are formed within this rock. Basalt is formed from lava coming out of a volcano. Here's a piece of granite. You can see the crystals in this one are actually larger than in the basalt. You can see the much larger crystals, those sparkly bits there. And granite is another type of igneous rock, but this one forms deep within the ground. So there's two types of igneous rocks. We've got igneous rocks which are expelled from a volcano and form from lava, such as basalt. And we've got igneous rocks which form from magma, which is trapped underneath the Earth's surface. If the rock comes out of the volcano as lava, the crystals will form very quickly because it will cool down quickly. And that means they're very, very small, tiny little sparkly bits there. Any magma trapped beneath the Earth's crust will cool down much slower, so you see the crystals end up growing, there's a large one there, end up growing much larger because they've got longer to cool. So we've got two types of igneous rock, intrusive and extrusive. Intrusive, rocks like granite, rocks which form within the crust of the Earth, intrusive. And then we've got our extrusive igneous rocks, rocks which have exited the Earth's crust, extrusive. Now next we're going to look at sedimentary rocks. Again, I've got two sedimentary rocks here. We've got a piece of sandstone and a piece of chalk. Now, sedimentary rocks are formed by tiny fragments which get buried and compressed and glued together by minerals. Now, sandstone is exactly as it sounds. It's stone made of sand. Tiny grains of sand all compact together. It's quite rough. You can see the grains. It looks bumpy and lumpy. There's no crystals in there, but it is possible to find fossils within sedimentary rocks. So sedimentary rocks are generally softer than the igneous we've just looked at, so they're not as hard wearing. Here's chalk. Again, you can see it's made of lots of little grains. It's very soft. You can see there, it just rubs off onto my hands. These are all little grains of chalk. Chalk's actually made from the shells of tiny sea creatures from millions and millions of years ago. Just like the sandstone was made by sand being compressed together, chalk is made by the shells of these creatures being crushed together and sticking together by these minerals. So they're very soft, very grainy, but you can find fossils within these. Moving on, we have our metamorphic rocks. Now the word metamorphic means to change form, metamorphosis. These rocks used to be other rocks. This here is marble. Now you can see it's quite a nice smooth surface. It's often polished and used for statues or work surfaces. You can see it's a bit sparkly. This actually used to be chalk, but the chalk was buried really deep into the Earth's crust. It came under extreme temperature and pressure, and that transformed the arrangement of minerals within it. And this chalk became marble. So marble is a much stronger, harder wearing, more durable rock than the original sedimentary rock it came from. It's used a lot for sculptures, statues and things. We've got a piece of slate here. Slate, again, this used to be another type of rock, a sedimentary rock, which was compressed to form slate. It's very sharp. You can see it's in layers there. They would have been the layers of the rock being compressed as it was buried. It's waterproof, unlike the sandstone and the chalk. These are porous, they'll absorb water. Slates, because it's been compressed, its little grains, its mineral grains, are much closer compact, and it's waterproof. We use this on roofs a lot. So slate is another metamorphic rock. These two metamorphic rocks used to be other rocks, but their pressure and temperature of being buried within the Earth's crust have created these new rocks known as metamorphic rocks. So in summary, we'll recap what we found out. Firstly, we have igneous rocks. An example is granite. These rocks are created from intense heat of volcanic activity. such as from lava or magma. Lava is magma which has exited the volcano. This forms an extrusive igneous rock. These rocks have smaller crystals because they cool down very quickly. Magma is molten rock which is still beneath the Earth's crust. This takes a long time to cool down if it's within the Earth's crust, and so it ends up with larger crystals. We call it intrusive igneous rock. Next we have metamorphic rock. The example here is marble. And metamorphic rocks are rocks which have transformed from another rock when they're buried deep within the crust and come under extreme temperatures and pressures. And lastly, we have our sedimentary rocks. The example here is chalk. Sedimentary rocks are made with rounded grains, which means they're porous, they can absorb water. It also makes them very soft. And these are the rocks in which it's most likely to find fossils.